Welcome back into the WQAD podcast room. We are doing our second edition of Beyond the Score. Kory Cuffler, joined with Jenna Miner and Jonah Krell. Hopefully you enjoyed the first one that we did. You got to know us a little bit better, what we like about sports, what we enjoy about sports, why we do sports, places we like to go and eat in the Quad Cities. So everything that I saw that was on the 8 Plus app, people liked it. We had over 6,000 views, something like that, or minutes viewed,
nice.
which is pretty cool for the first time doing it. So this time we decided we're going to talk a little bit more sports and kind of dive in a little bit high school stuff, a little bit of MLB, a little bit of UFL, a little bit of NFL, a little bit of everything this time around, kind of give you a flavor for our perspective on a bunch of different sports topics. And the first one we decided we were going to talk about today is the Drake Relays, which just happened last week. And Jonah, was your first ever Drake Relays. Let me ask you, how did that go for you? What did you think about the Drake Relays?
I loved it. I mean, there was so many different events going on at one time, and not only did we see the high school athletes, we saw Olympians, Olympic gold medalists there. So all in all, like, just so much talent. College athletes as well, breaking records left and right. You hear Mike J, right? And I had no idea who Mike J was coming into this thing, kind of blind. So to have his kind of big voice calling these high school athletes races and the fans get into it with the claps, it all just had like a big game, big event kind of atmosphere to it. So it was very fun.
Mike J is legendary. Yeah, I mean, if you go anywhere to a track meet, especially state or Drake, we'll cover state here in a couple weeks up in Iowa, up in Des Moines. Mike J's been doing it forever, and all the kids know who he is, which is the coolest thing because they know when they're running down the back stretch or the home stretch there, when he's calling their name, they're like, that's the coolest thing ever. They love when Mike J calls their name. So let me ask you, Jonah, anything stand out to you at the Drake Relays?
Well, I think the performance overall by Pleasant Valley. We saw their distance running have a lot of success, led by Grace Boland, Ani Wiedemeyer, and that entire 4x8 crew. They also did well in the 4x100 relay. So that success, and then I also saw Tyson Caesar in the high jump just exceed everyone. And he was competing against himself at the end. He eclipsed 7 feet on the bar. He was able to pass that 7-foot mark, and he almost reached the 7.2. He had several tries at the 7.1 and 7.2, I believe. Do they go 7.1 or
he probably would have gone by 7.1 next.
Yeah.
So
then, yes, it was 7.1 where he had multiple chances. Almost got there. It was very close, but to see him cross 7 feet on that bar was outstanding. It was electric.
Yeah, he actually cleared 7'1" on Monday after the Drake Relays, which is so cool. But I wanted to talk about Tyson because I remember when I was at the Drake Relays last year, I always got very humbled when I went over to the high jump because I'm only 5 feet tall. This is just so funny for me to see how high they can jump. And, you know, obviously Jonah was at the Drake Relays. I was here, like, getting everything back. And when I found out that Tyson eclipsed 7 feet, I'm like, that is 2 feet taller than me. Like, that's crazy. I just thought that was, like, insane.
I think we decided that if you sat on my shoulders, it might get to 7 foot, and he'd still be jumping over the top of us, which is, kind of crazy.
That was just crazy for me. And then, like, talking to about just Pleasant Valley, you know, I got to talk to them on the Score Sunday this past Sunday, and it's just so fun. I talked to that 4x800 record-holding team. So, you said Grace Boland, Ani Wiedemeyer.
Two-time.
Kaylee Mowen, and Ariel Johnson. And they were so much fun to talk to. And also, I know Cuff and I, we talked about a little bit, too, the connection between Grace Boland and Ani Wiedemeyer and just how good of friends they are. And I think just their relationship just really translates out on the track when they're running. And it's so cool to see that.
Yeah, and I believe Ani transferred in.
Yeah.
She wasn't originally from Pleasant Valley, but she's been there now for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And her and Grace just hit it off immediately. And everywhere you see Grace running, Ani's right next to her. And that's the coolest thing. So they were the first team, actually, to go sub-9 in the 4x8 last year at state. all time. Nobody's ever done it. And then they do it again at the Drake Relays, which was pretty cool. So now they're the only team to do it twice. So, yeah, so big things out of them. And they finished second in the High V Cup. They won it last year, got second this year. Nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, they still have a really good chance of making a deep run for another state championship in a couple weeks at the end of the month here in May. So.
Also, too, though, with the Drake Relays, I want to talk a little bit about Gabriella Reagan. She finished fifth in discus. But then this past week, I don't know if you saw, she broke the Pleasant Valley discus record. She threw 157 feet.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because Drake, fifth place, that's awesome. She threw like 140 or 141. Yeah. And then to go off of that and throw for 157 feet and break the school record, that's awesome. Like, the coolest thing about track for me, last year, actually, the Drake Relays, I think, was like my first big track event I went to. And just going to all the events and just seeing the talent levels of these athletes and just how strong and capable they are. Like, all the events, like, there's so much athleticism that goes into it. And so, like, I remember Kevin Kory from Channel 6, he would joke with me all the time that I want to try out every event. I'm like, I want to throw the discus. I want to throw the shot put. I'm like, because they make it look so much fun. You've
already talked about us trying to do, like, challenges and stuff. Like, she wants to have us, like try to kick a 35-yard field goal.
Against each other. Or I think it'd be fun to do, like, putt-putt, the three of us, or even just, like, Mario Kart. I'm like, would you, viewers, would you guys watch us if we had Mario Kart up here?
Again, she's picking Mario Kart because apparently she's really good at it.
I'm so good at Mario Kart Wii specifically.
I'm not a big gamer. But, yeah, if there's anything that you ever want us to talk about or want us to do, let us know. I mean, you can always email us at, I think it's sports@wqad.com, so you can always email us. But before we wrap up, Drake, anything else that surprises you about Drake or anything else you want to mention?
I just wanted to touch on the shot put again because when I think Gabriella Reagan's highest score, I think I have it.
Her throw,
her highest throw on discus was around 140.
Yeah.
And then I interviewed her right after, and she says, I got more in me. And when I asked her about state, and then to see her go to 157, I didn't know she had that in her.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find the final results to see where that could have placed at Drake.
She would have won.
Can't find it in front of me. She would have won.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't wait to see what she does at state then. She's a senior, and she was just happy to be at Drake.
Right.
But to be able to do what she did now after that, says something about what she can do.
Oh yeah, and she's just such a talented athlete too. She is on
too, right?
Yeah, she was on the state
championship
team for volleyball as well. So it's just so cool to see those multi-sport athletes just shining in all of their sports too. And there's a lot of those at Pleasant Valley too, because Cuff, we were talking about the PV, their like outstanding like female athlete and their male, and like Harrison Fierce won it for the boys.
Correct.
He's what, a four-sport athlete?
Yeah.
Which is just, that's crazy to me that, like, and not only that, but he's, like, heavily involved. He's, like, the quarterback of the football team. So that's so cool just to see those athletes be so heavily involved and successful in what they do. So that's, and I feel like at the Drake Relays, too, you really get to see a lot of that, which is just awesome.
Well, we can't wrap up Drake before we talk about Kelly Grobstich from Assumption. She wins the 100-yard. She wins the 100-meter. And the cool thing about Drake is there's no classes, right? You're running, if you're 1A or 4A, you're competing against everybody. So it's the best of the best. So if you win, now there's a big target on you as you go to state in a couple weeks because they break off into their own classes. So she's going to be in class 3A with Assumption. She's going to be the favorite to win the 100, probably the favorite to win the 200 as well. So there's a little bit of pressure that goes with it. And they always say pressure's a privilege, right? So if you win, you get that pressure, you get that privilege of, hey, I want to beat you. She's fast. I mean, she's worked really hard to get to this point.
Oh, yeah. I saw her at one of Assumption's track meet. I think it was the Last Chance Drake Relays track meet they had. And I watched her run, and at that point I was like, yeah, she's going to win a Drake. Like, she's so fast. And then you talk to her, too, and she's so nice and so, like you said, I think she feels that pressure, but she's so humble about it, and she uses that to work hard. And I know, Jonah, you obviously interviewed her while you were there, and that was sort of a message she had, right?
Yeah, the humility of it all. I mean, her freshman year, she's on, I believe, the 4x100 relay team. But then if you look at the rest of her career after that, last year at Drake, she doesn't even qualify for finals. Right. She's not even on the radar. And then this year she just explodes. I didn't even mention her sophomore year. She had I think she said she tore her ACL doing dancing. I don't think she's going to be doing dancing now. So just to see her ultimately come back from that setback and just to be able to be on top and push herself, not only is she fast, she's strong too. You look at her build compared to the other racers she's competing against. I mean, she's physically imposing, and to see what she is able to do out there on the track, just kind of determination and will, it's very impressive to see what she's done. And she's still got time left to do something at state.
So we've got 3 weeks left basically before track wraps up. We've got we'll finish up this week, which we're doing this on a Friday. So the following week, which is next week, we have conference meets on both sides of the river. So we're going to MAC meet. We'll have all the conference meets on the Illinois side. Then you have districts in Iowa, and then you have state. And state is a whole nother beast, which you're going to get to enjoy that one too. But it's fun because it's a co-ed state meet, and they do boys and girls in the same week, and it's really, really cool. It's a rat race for us almost a little bit because you're kind of running around for the field events, the track events, and everything. But it's really cool, and then you kind of really see which teams have a chance of winning state. Pleasant Valley is a defending state champion on the girls' side. I think they have a good chance to repeat. They're going to get pushed. I believe Waukee Northwest is pretty good. I believe Johnston's pretty good. So they're going to get pushed. Not saying they can't do it. We'll see where Assumption fits in. Mediapolis boys have won the last 2 years at state, so see if they can three-peat. They lost a lot from the last couple of years, so see if they can three-peat. So, yeah, we have a lot to look forward to as far as track goes. So that should be pretty exciting. All right, let's move on to our next subject, and kind of a sad subject. Just the other day, the Cubs-Pirates game, a young man fell from the Clemente wall, a 21-foot fall. I'm sure everybody's seen the video. We're not showing the video. We're not going to talk about the video too much, but it was a very simple play that happened. Ball hit up the middle. Cubs shortstop booted it into right field. Pirates scored a couple runs. They ended up winning 4-3. While that was going on, the young man who was in right field got excited, jumped up, somehow falls over the railing, lands on the field. He gets medical attention. He's in critical condition, everything that we've heard. So I definitely wish him all the best. Thoughts and prayers for him, his family, and a lot of people. But what makes me, I guess you think about this and you're like, all right, baseball is trying to be progressive and trying to be safe, right? They've done a lot of things to make sure the fans have a great experience. And I'm sure he was having a great time, obviously, before all of this happened. The one thing they did over the past couple of years is they've extended a netting all the way down from home plate all the way down to the foul poles now, which is something new this year, that it goes all the way down to the foul poles. To, again, protect the fans, because you've all been at games. How many times are you sitting at a game and you're talking to a friend, you might be on your phone, you're doing something else, and next thing you know, somebody gets hit with a line drive or a ball, or anything can happen, So I'm curious to see how Major League Baseball responds to this. Again, freak accident.
Yeah.
Do they add something to the outfield where they add like another netting? Do they do something? It's hard to tell, but again, just a tragic moment that happened in Pittsburgh, and I'll let you guys. I mean, Jenna, you and I saw that night.
We were working, and we saw it because you saw it on Twitter first, I think,
right.
And then we were recording the game, and we went back and looked at it, and it was just, I mean, obviously they didn't show it on the broadcast, which was good.
Rightfully so, yeah.
It was it was just very sad. I feel like in the moment I didn't really know what to think about. It was just so it was just really scary.
You're
to
in
see
shock
that happen.
to see it. Yeah.
It's just so sad and so tragic, and just obviously hoping that he's okay with that. And like you said, it's how are they going to respond to that? Will there be netting or something like that? Because I don't know what else they would be able to do. I mean, it's something they obviously have to really think about now to sort of figure out what the next step would be after something like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you guys see it live? Is that what you?
No, so we saw it on Twitter first, and then I was recording the game that night, so we went back to see what the play was because I was doing other things, getting other things done for the 10 o'clock show that night. And we found it on Twitter, and then I rolled back to see where it was at. And the weird thing is as it happened, the players, the umpires that were on the field, they didn't know. The play continued because they're all focused on the play that was going on. Now, those that were on the bench and in the dugouts, they saw it.
From 350 feet away.
Yeah. So the Pirates manager, Craig Counsell, comes out for the Cubs, and they're like, hey, we got something's going on in the outfield. Even the broadcasters at the time didn't know. They're like,
there's something going on.
Yeah,
there's a fan
all
out there.
Yeah, all of a sudden, there's something out there. Oh, it might be a person. They had no idea. Luckily, the Pittsburgh medical staff, the Cubs medical staff got to him. They got him. I guess he had to have emergency surgery, things of that nature. But yeah, just hopefully he recovers and he's okay. Kind of just a tragic moment, and it's not the first time it's ever happened. There's been other incidents where somebody's fallen from an upper deck onto like people below. I've never seen it where it's happened to onto the field before like that. Obviously, you get the crazies that like to run on the field and do that kind of stuff, which you can't do anymore. But so hopefully this young man, everything works out for him, and hopefully he becomes okay.
I just think so too. Obviously, seeing the players' reactions and everything, it's just
they were
like,
shaken up.
How do you play after something like that? Like it's just so hard to get back into the mindset of the game when it's one of those moments where you're like, yeah, this is bigger than a game. Like this is happening, and it's just like. It's obviously hard to see something like that and then see the players so shaken up. And then, in the post-game interviews, the journalist reporters, they have to ask about that. And it's just it's just hard. The whole situation all around. It's just,
Yeah, just to add on to that, Andrew McCutcheon is fan favorite. Everyone loves him. My dad's from Pittsburgh, so I'm familiar with the Pittsburgh fan base and everything like that. Andrew McCutcheon just gave a great quote after the game talking about, he says, we play for guys like that. That's why we are here. We play the game. He's the reason we play the game. And to see his reaction at second base, his stunned, speechless reaction says a lot about the man Kutch is and just kind of the shock everyone had. And I also want to say in terms of what you said about what can the MLB do, interestingly enough, the rail lines, the guardrails at PNC Park are already above regulation length for the MLB. So it's the railing that runs along Clemente Wall is 3 feet in height, which exceeds the building code requirements of 26 inches. So do they extend it even more? Like, is there something?
Well, and even if they do, it doesn't stop somebody from potentially climbing on it.
Right.
I mean, you can build a wall as high as you want or build a fence as high as you want, and somebody's going to climb it, right? They're going to look at that as a challenge. Not that it happened in this instant, but maybe they do something. But then, if you like somebody in the news we were talking, and they said put a net up. Well, you put a net up, then the home run ball doesn't get to the fans. There's that part of the game as well. So. But again, you asked how do they go on, and one of the broadcasters on the Cubs broadcast said they compartmentalize. They get back into the zone of I'm a professional athlete. This is my job. This is what I have to do, and then afterwards, then they can reflect on it and talk about it. Because a lot of players it was scary. It shook them up. I mean, things like that don't normally happen. Even when a person gets hurt, whether it be a player or whoever it is, a fan, whatever, it does shake them up. They have to finish the game, finish their job. But then afterwards, they can kind of reflect on it a little bit too. So, again, unfortunate situation. Again, I hope that young man is okay. Everything works out for him. So,
Kevin Markwood, we should say his name.
Kevin Markwood? Okay, yeah. So, all right, moving on. What do we have next?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Samson Nakua.
So more fun stuff with fans and players.
Yes, except this one is a little different.
This is different.
He slapped a fan this week. You actually showed me the video. So,
so in the UFL game this past weekend, I believe it was Michigan playing St. Louis is what it was, the Michigan Panthers. Samson Nakua, and you ask, okay, why do I know Nakua? Well, Puka Nakua is his brother. He's got another brother, I think, who plays in the UFL as well. But anyway, you see the video on Twitter, and he walks over to the stands, and there's a fan leaning over the railing, pointing his finger, saying something to him. Eventually, he jumps up, smacks him across the face, and kind of laughs, and he has a teammate with him who kind of points and laughs at him as well, and they just kind of walk off. Well, you see that, and you're like, okay, well, they're both in the wrong here. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think they're both the fan and the player are in the wrong.
Definitely.
I mean, as an athlete, I feel like you can't. What's the word here? You can't really react off of those emotions, especially with the fan. But also, my other side of it is when I was in college, we actually had one of our student athletes slap a fan at a game, and he got suspended. And so that, I've thought about this before. And in that situation, like that athlete, I've interviewed him a lot. He's a really good guy. It's like, why would he do that? So then my other thought goes to, what did the fans say to Samson to make him want to slap the fan?
Right.
Because, again, back in my college situation, the fan was saying some really nasty stuff to the player, and that's what, got him all riled up. So then that's what my thought process is. Obviously, Samson, not in the right. You shouldn't slap the fan,
I'm gonna stop you real quick.
Yeah, you're going to come in, yeah.
Because I want you to switch the camera. You've been talking the whole time, and I've been on. So people think I've been, like, throwing this voice, and it's Jenna has been talking the whole time.
My bad. I hit the wrong button. My bad. But, yeah, so I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, Samson.
But, like, so why did that player hit him?
Yeah, like, it's like, what did the fans say that prompted that out of him? But, again, he's not in the right. You can't react off. You can't just go around slapping fans, even if they're saying bad stuff. But then again, my thought is, what did the fan?
You're not even supposed to hit another player.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's illegal as well. You get a penalty and potentially a fine for that. We talked about it a little bit on Monday. I don't remember if you had seen it or if I showed you for the first time. But I was like, did you see that? And you had a pretty good reaction about it too.
I saw it. I mean, I had a strong reaction to it because, one, like you said, I mean, you can't do that if you're a player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you can't cross that boundary. It's funny enough, I just saw Reggie Miller talk about the malice of the palace. Not comparing this incident at all to that, but I'm just saying, like, you have a responsibility as a player, but also the fan has a responsibility as an attendant of a game. You signed a contract essentially when you buy that ticket,
right,
to follow certain rules as an attendee of a game, and you can't say things to players that are potentially derogatory, or you can't throw things like we saw, malice at the palace years ago. So that fan has a responsibility. He must have said something out of line that caused Samson Nacua to react like that, but both people are out of line for what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And what surprises me is the UFL only suspended Samson Nacua one game for that. How do you suspend him for one game for that kind of slap?
And I mean, yes, does it set a precedent? It probably hasn't happened in their league before, but again, I think personally it could have been a harsher penalty. And I don't know the amount of. I'm sure he got fined as well, and I didn't see what the fine was or whatever.
Community service, I believe.
Well, he's got to do that as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure there's a fine. He gets suspended. He's got to do community service, whatever. But again, why not do it for 2 games or 3 games? You know, just to prove a point and say, hey, we don't do this. You can't do this. And the next person, it could be even worse if you do it again. And hopefully it never happens again. But you're right. When you go to a game. And we've all been to games. You hear fans. They say things that just so out of pocket sometimes. You know, they're just like, okay, they feel like it's their right. I bought a ticket. I can say it.
It's ridiculous.
But you can't, you know, because, again, it could incite something. There's fights all the time in the stands. Not right for that either. But you're right. When you buy a ticket, it says on there that you have certain conduct that you're supposed to adhere to. So I'm hoping something happens to this fan where maybe he doesn't get to go to games or something of that nature where he can't go to games, 2 or 3 games, whatever it is. But it's one of those things that's been trickled down even all the way to the high school level, because we go to the high school games all the time. Not that they're slapping the fans or things of that nature, but people are yelling at referees. People are yelling at high school kids. It's like, let's think about this a little bit more. You know, let's be a little bit smarter in how we conduct our business when we go to games. Go have fun. Enjoy yourself. That's what you're there for. Enjoy whatever game you're going to. Then those incidents don't happen with the fans, right? Or with the players and the fans. So hopefully Samson learns his lesson, doesn't do this again. Hopefully his brother maybe sat down with him like, hey, man, if you're trying to get to the NFL, that's not the way to do it, because that's what a lot of these UFL guys are hoping to get some kind of look. That's a bad image to have right there. So hopefully both of them learn their lesson. They can move on and things get better for both of them. So
Definitely.
Let's talk about Greg Popovich. Something that's a little bit, I guess it's happy but sad at the same time.
Yep.
I'll let you start, Jonah.
Yeah, definitely. Jonah's the NBA guy.
You're a big NBA guy. So and you didn't know it when I mentioned that. Pop said resigned.
Yeah, that's on me personally. I should be up on this news, but growing up as a Suns fan, I hated the Spurs. I'll just be honest.
Sure.
The Spurs always won. There was dirty Robert Horry hip check move on Steve Nash.
Here we go.
But beyond all that, and once kind of that era of Suns basketball stopped, I always respected Greg Popovich for the kind of leader he was, the kind of coach he was. and his players always respected him, and they loved him for it. The ability to develop international talent and to do it without like a true superstar, a true kind of ego player, truly says a lot about what Pop was able to build, the kind of culture that San Antonio was all about. So I always, even though I didn't like San Antonio, they always had a winning culture that is, you have to respect it. And Coach Pop, players always love talking about how much they love playing for him. USA basketball as well. Just run through the numbers. 5-time NBA champion, 3-time Coach of the Year, 26 playoff appearances, 22 straight. And the winningest
out
coach.
Of 29 years. Was it 29 years.
Yeah.
So 26 times he made the playoffs. That's pretty impressive.
It just shows his consistency over all those years. So you have to applaud the way he did it too. True class. Everyone in the league respects a guy like Greg Popovich.
And I feel like, too, what you just said, if there's a team that you really don't like, but there's a coach that can do what he does that makes you respect them, that just says so much about a coach right there. Mm-hmm. Like, definitely GOAT status.
Yes.
Absolutely. But, yeah, I just feel like that says a lot when you could say that about a coach or a player, if you don't like them, but you still have that much respect for them, for sure.
The longevity is just
all-time
ridiculous.
winningest coach.
Yeah.
1,422 wins. Third in playoff wins. So that says something right there.
Oh, yeah.
Five championships. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. And they've already named he's leaving the sidelines, but he becomes president. Is that right?
Yep.
He's going to be team president of the Spurs, and they've already hired their new head coach, which I guess was a no-brainer for them. He steps down, they hire their assistant coach. So I mean, makes a lot of sense. So wish him all the best. And the reason this came about, I believe he had a stroke earlier in the year and was having some health issues, and so completely understand. I think he's 70 years old. So I don't want to be working at 70. I mean, I know his job may not be. I mean, his job's a little bit better than my job is probably.
Jokes on you, you will be working at 70. We're gonna keep on going.
as long as you guys are with me, I'm there. I'm there. But yeah, so hopefully everything works out for the best for him, going up to be up in the president's seat up there, and then all of his health issues and everything kind of works out that way, because you never want to see anybody have those health issues.
And one more thing, to do it over 3 different decades, championships in the 90s with a young Duncan, in the mid-2000s with that core as well, and then in the 2010s with a young Kawhi Leonard, like to be able to do that in 3 different eras, he should have a statue outside.
I'm sure he will,
arena, so.
All right, before we move on, I want to throw one more at you guys. It's not on our list, but it also deals with the NBA.
Okay.
So LeBron and the Lakers lost.
Yep.
Yes.
Is LeBron done?
Oh my gosh.
He's 40.
Are we giving into the hot take culture here?
I mean,
are we doing first take?
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, he's been doing it since he was 18 years old.
Yeah.
That's 22 years, because he's 40. So he's been doing it for 22 years in the league. He's the leading scorer all time. I don't think he has the most wins all time yet, though, does he? I don't think so. But anyway, does LeBron walk away after this year? Does he come back with Luka, and they hope to do it again next year?
I think it'd be really cool to see him come back again with Luka. What do you think? Again, John, I love hearing Jonah's takes because he's such a basketball guy.
I think it's an 85 to 90% chance he comes back. I'm confident that he's coming back. I think everyone in the league knew that this wasn't the Laker team. I think that they were 1 year away, just because getting Luka mid-season, he comes back from injury. He's not fully there yet. They don't have great depth. They don't have a big man. So they just didn't have the pieces this year. I think LeBron knew that. So I think he's coming back for at least 1 more year. We'll see how it goes.
So Kareem has the most career wins with 1,074. And LeBron is 4th on that list with 965. So if he'd have to come back for at least a year and a half to get to number 1, as you look at that. But if you look at LeBron, he's won 4 NBA championships, right?
Yep.
4 Finals MVPs, 4 MVP awards, 21-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star Game MVP. I'm gonna throw it out there. He's not the GOAT.
Oh, you've been saying that for a while. That's been your take.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, those are. I mean, whenever we have the high schoolers in, high school basketball players in on the Score Sunday, you would always ask them that, and then they would say anyone other than MJ. You'd be like, nope, absolutely not.
And they go with LeBron, and I understand that. That's who they've seen.
Yeah.
They didn't get to see Michael in his glory through the late 80s into the 90s, right?
Yeah.
I did. You guys didn't get to see him.
Yeah.
Who's your GOAT?
So I never got to see Jordan, but surprisingly enough, I say it's Michael Jordan for me. I think it's Michael Jordan. There's just one, everyone talks about undefeated in the finals and never let it get to a game 7.
Right.
6 MVPs. LeBron, I feel like he's had a couple moments in the NBA finals where he's kind of quit and he wasn't at the best that he could be, and he kind of let his team down. So I kind of hold that against him. Also, Michael's a better defensive player, all around 10-time defensive player. So yeah, I'd say Michael Jordan.
It's one of those debates that it's hard because the game has changed.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh, if the players from today played back when Michael played, that they wouldn't do all the things they're doing. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they adapt to that style of play. It's definitely much different. There's no doubt about that it's much different. I heard somebody explain it this way. Which era, Michael's or LeBron's, is it easier to score in?
It's easily this era.
Easy.
That's another factor.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was much harder to do what Michael did because of that era. So again, that's another reason why I say he's the GOAT. And again, it's one of those debates that'll never go away.
Yeah.
You know, because you can list the stats, you can list the numbers, you can skew it any way you want. But I just wanted to throw that out there while we were talking NBA. Who is your GOAT? Who's your GOAT? You didn't answer.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Just pick MJ. Make me happy.
I'm like, I don't know. I
haven't
haven't
talked about this for like an hour.
I've just never. Well, it's sort of like the thing I've told you guys. Like, I don't have like a favorite MLB team because I just enjoy watching. I feel like it's like with basketball. Like, I don't have a specific GOAT. I just enjoy watching it, which is kind of a lame answer. Maybe I should pick someone to be my GOAT or whatever. But
no, you don't need to.
It's like I don't know. I just feel like I've never really. I don't know.
All right, but then let's move on to a sport that you enjoy.
NFL, baby. I'm ready. Let's go. NFL draft.
NFL draft.
Can I talk about the Illini? I'm ready.
You want to talk about the Illini and
Iowa
first, or you want to talk about your Packers?
Ooh. Well, I feel like we should do our local colleges first.
That works, sure.
And I would like to start.
So if you want to start with local,
Pat Bryant.
Oh, you want to start with Pat Bryant?
Okay.
He's not even local. I thought you were going to go Darian Porter.
Oh, I just wanted to we could talk about Darian.
Stop trying to steer her in the direction you want.
Thank you.
Get your Illini out of the. No, I was kidding.
Okay.
No, absolutely.
NFL draft. Pat Bryant drafted to the Broncos. I am very excited to see that. Pat Bryant, obviously, big time with Illinois. He led program record tying 10 receiving touchdowns this last season, which was also tied for the lead in the Big Ten. So a big impact out on the field, and I think he's going to make a big impact in the NFL. I know the Broncos kind of have, I guess you could say, a crowded wide receiver room, but I don't feel, Cortland Sutton was like their wide receiver 1, but I feel like Pat Bryant coming into the Broncos, I feel like he has a chance of becoming a rookie wide receiver 1. I really do. And I think it's going to be so cool to see him in the NFL playing out there. You know, hopefully him and Bo Nix can connect really well. I'm very excited to see that connection for sure.
I don't know. I saw something on Twitter, and I don't know if it was before the season or if it was right after he got drafted, but at some point there was a video of him talking about the Broncos, and he was like, "Let's ride."
Yes.
And then I think that was before the season started.
So it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
It was I saw it was actually WCIA in Champaign. They talked to him. And it was a thing because they're called the Illini Nation. So they had him say, Illini Nation, let's ride. And it's funny because obviously you see all those videos of Russell Wilson being like, Broncos country, let's ride. That's like a whole thing. So him doing that, yeah, it is really funny. So I think it's going to be a fun fit to see. And I'm very excited to see him in the NFL.
All right.
That's my...
You talked about the Illini.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the Hawkeyes.
Go
ahead.
Obviously, I was very excited to see Caleb Johnson drafted.
I was disappointed he didn't go to the Bears.
I was so happy. As a Packers fan, I was so happy as a Packers fan that he didn't go
as well
to the
you
Bears.
should be.
But I was really nervous the Bears were going to draft him.
What's wrong with him going to the Bears?
Because he's good, and I'm a Packers fan. I did not want that coming towards my Packers. Absolutely not. But I was excited to see him go to the Steelers. Obviously, Y.A. Black also drafted by the Steelers, so there's a teammate here that he knows. But I want to hear Jonah's take because he is a Steelers fan and an Arizona Cardinals fan, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, you need to pick one, man.
Everyone
just
always
one or the
hates
other.
on
You can't take both.
I'm sorry. It's just the way it's going to be. But get to see Caleb Johnson get drafted. Running back was a need for the Steelers after letting go Najee Harris, and he just fits right in kind of the same mold as Najee was. He fits the scheme. He's a big, powerful, bruising back, and he also can break away for those long runs. I mean, we saw there was a whole highlight reel of 20-plus yard, runs that he had, touchdown runs. How many touchdown runs did he had? Over 20.
I think
he had
21,
a lot.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
21.
So
that was a single season record, if I'm not mistaken.
I think too, with what I noticed with covering Caleb Johnson this past season, and I think that would go with what you're talking about. I feel like he's a good example of a running back who makes stuff happen. Like I feel like he's very crafty and always finds a way to get what he needs. That's how I would describe him. And so I'm really excited again to see him with the Steelers. I mean, I know you're excited too.
Yeah.
But I was super, super stoked about that for sure. I think too, I was excited to see Luke Lachey drafted near the last day of the draft. He got drafted to the Texans. I think that's going to be really fun to watch too. If he gets to be out there with C.J. Stroud, I am very excited to see Luke Lachey out there too.
So speaking of the Texans, transitions us right into Iowa State.
Right.
And their two wide receivers, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, go in, I think, back-to-back rounds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So they were teammates at Iowa State. It didn't take them too long to become teammates in the NFL and the Texans. I think that's pretty cool for them.
That's so cool. I mean, I just feel like if you think of just the personal aspect of it, I mean, your dream is to go to the NFL, you got to be nervous. I'm sorry. Like, you're getting drafted. It's like you're going to have some nerves going in. It's like what you wanted to do. And I just feel like going into that and then having someone that you went to college, not only that, but the same position, like someone you're close with, to just transition into that on a personal aspect, that has to be just, I feel like, really reassuring for them and just really exciting. I mean, you have that connection. You've built that connection. And having that duo out on the field, I think, would be so cool to see in the NFL.
You mentioned you thought they'd be nervous. Were you nervous when we selected you to work here at WQAD?
Yes. No. No.
She said no.
I was ready.
How about you? Were you nervous, Jonah?
No, I wasn't nervous.
Yeah, I don't think nervous. I don't think I get in what I say, which is gonna sound lame. You guys are gonna laugh at me. You know, I get very excited. I think being nervous is just taking a negative connotation on being excited. It's the same emotion, the same feeling.
Yeah.
So, which might be kind of lame to say that, but I'm like, I don't really get nervous. I just get really excited about stuff. So maybe they're excited. Maybe it's wrong of me to assume they'd be nervous, but I feel like going professionally, I feel like you gotta be a teeny bit nervous.
All right, let's talk about Darian Porter, another Iowa State guy, and our local guy, a Bettendorf guy. If you haven't seen the interview I did with him, it is up on our 8+ app. I'm sure if you watch this podcast, you can search that and watch the 17 or 18-minute interview I did with him. Awesome young man. I'm excited for him. He gets drafted, I think it was it second round, late second round, or no, early third round with the Raiders.
68th pick.
So awesome for him. Excited for him. I think he's going to do great things there. I mean, if you look at what he did at Iowa State in just 1 year of playing defensive back, they're going to take him and make him even better than what he already is, because he's not even touched or scratched the surface to what he can do as far as being a great NFL DB. He's got the height, he's got the speed, he's got the hands. He's going to be a nightmare because usually defensive backs are smaller than the wide receivers. He may be taller than some of the wide receivers he's going to be guarding.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, just the number one thing that stands out with him is athleticism. You touched on it. And just his hands, like his leaping ability and his ability to stay with his speed is the number one thing we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to outrun him on the football field. So if you get by him, he's going to catch you from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously just his story of, like, I know you mentioned it, but just him being a wide receiver and just playing that for so long, and then him transitioning to cornerback and then getting drafted. It's just awesome to just see something like that unfold. That's so cool.
All right, so individually, can we talk about our teams real quick?
Yes, of course.
we'll start with Jonah because I know how excited you are about your Packers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me ask you, Jonah, which team are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about the Steelers or are you going to talk about the Cardinals?
I'll talk about the Cardinals because I already talked a little bit about the Steelers.
Okay.
Happy about Caleb Johnson again. But for the Cardinals, I thought their first 2 picks were money in kind of solidifying the defensive line, getting Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, a guy who has explosive ability, really good interior lineman, and on the edge can do things as well. So I think he's a versatile pick. And then Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, people are talking about him as kind of like the steal of the draft. He was falling because of injury concerns, but he said that knee injury is behind him. So Will Johnson might be his cornerback from starting cornerback from day one for the Cardinals. So I'm very happy about that. They didn't address the offensive line like I wanted them to protect Kyler, but other than that, I think they did well.
What grade would you give them?
I'd give them a B+ because of that one little thing. Yeah.
All right. Packers.
Man.
We'll talk NFC North, and I'll let you go first because it's the Packers. They own the Bears.
Well, thank you. That was so nice of him. Thank you. So obviously I was here at the station for the draft. I was working, and we had the first round on, and I was watching, and then Mark Murphy was up there and was just like, yeah, for the first time since 2002, and I was like, yes, let's go. We got a wide receiver in the first round. So exciting. Like, the Packers, just like going into the NFL draft as a Packers fan, I've never really gotten overly excited. That's just kind of, I just feel like as like a Packers fan, they never really go for who you're expecting them to, and I've kind of just like, I enjoy watching it, but it's kind of like whatever. But I was very excited about getting Matthew Golden. I feel like the Packers, there's a lot of talented wide receivers in the wide receiver room, but I just feel like at times they're not 100% finding their way. I feel like they need to find a really solid wide receiver one, and that's been an issue that the Packers had with Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love, they're still kind of working it out. And, you have, like, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, who are kind of, been kind of stepping into that role. But I think the Packers just need a really consistent wide receiver one. I don't know if Matthew Golden's going to be that or not. But, coming in as a rookie, probably not. But I just think it would be cool to see the wide receiver room sort of find their way a bit more, if that makes sense. So I'm just excited to see how it goes, and hopefully maybe Romeo Doubs will really continue to step up like he has been, and he'll become that solid wide receiver one, and then Matthew Golden will be able to fit right in there with them, which would be really great to see. So I was just very excited, specifically, obviously, about that pick. I think all Packers fans were very excited about that. So, yeah.
Overall,
what about you?
Well, let's get your grade on the Packers draft.
I don't know. I think the Packers, from what I've seen online to what people have been saying, I think had a very good draft. So I'd probably give them like an A-, B+ somewhere around there. I was pretty happy with it.
All right. So I am the resident Bear fan of the sports team.
Yep.
Hey, I've come to terms with we're not going to beat the Packers. We're not going to beat the Lions. We're not going to beat the Vikings. We'll finish in last place. We'll get Bears win the offseason every year. It's fantastic. Right now it's fantastic. We haven't lost a game. We won the offseason. We had a great draft. It's the best time of the year to be a Bears fan because about week 3 in September, you're like, yeah, well, when's the baseball season start? So,
yeah.
Anyway, I thought overall the Bears addressed a lot of needs that they had. I was a little shocked that they got Colston Loveland, number one. They had Cole Kmet already, but Ben Johnson likes to run 2 tight ends a lot. He can also be thrown out there. Loveland could be thrown out as a wide receiver because he played wide receiver at Michigan a little bit. So maybe he's that slot guy that you have, but then you drafted Luther Burden as well, who could be that guy. So who knows? So they did a lot of things offensively. And if you look at their offense now, if Caleb Williams becomes the Caleb Williams that everybody thinks he can be, he's got DJ Moore to throw to. He's got Roma Dunze to throw to. Yeah. He now has Luther Burden. He's got Cole Kmet, and he's got Colston Loveland. The one thing they didn't address on the offensive side was running back.
Yep.
They did not get a running back. I shouldn't say that. They got one in the 7th round. All right, whatever. I don't think he's going to be the guy. There's also talk now that they could be getting Nick Chubb in a trade somewhere along the way, so we'll see if that happens. DeAndre Swift is fine. he just can't run between the tackles. He needs to get outside and run outside the tackles. They addressed a little bit of the offensive line. They got a linebacker. They got an edge guy. So overall, I think they did the things they needed to do. In the years past, the Bears have done the things they needed to do, and it doesn't translate to wins. So will it translate to wins? Gosh, I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, again, I'm old enough to remember when the Bears won in '85. And it's been nothing since, and there's so many Bears fans that hold on to that. Like, Bears, the Super Bowl when they beat the Patriots. I'm like, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. How?
And again,
How long was that before we were born? A while.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. If they get to 8-9 wins, great year.
Yeah.
Great year for sure. Overall, I'd give the Bears a B+ on their draft.
Yeah.
So I think Ryan Poles is doing a lot of good things with what he's doing with that organization right now.
Here's what I'll say about your Bears. All the pieces are, like you said, all the pieces are around Caleb Williams now. He's got the offensive line now to protect him. So can he put it all together? I think and he has the coach now. So you really don't have any excuses.
There's no more excuses. Yeah. Either it happens or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, whose head rolls because of that? Is it Ryan Poles? Is it Caleb Williams ain't going to be there anymore? Is it Ben Johnson, which is unfair to him because it's just his first year? I think you got to give him a few more years, but if it doesn't work, I think Ryan Poles is the first one to eventually be on the chopping block. And, again, I like the guy. I think he's trying to do some great things. It's just you just don't know sometimes. There's always an unknown with everything. So, well, we've gone longer than the 30 that we wanted to go. We've almost gone about 45 minutes.
Really?
So if you're still listening with us, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Totally appreciate it. Again, if you like what we're doing, let us know. If you don't like what we're doing, don't let us know.
If you want to see us play Mario Kart, let us know.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But if you got a topic that you want us to talk about, email us. sports@wqad.com. Look us up on the web, on wqad.com. You can find our emails there. So easy to find us, easy to send us emails. Please watch. We kind of enjoyed doing this.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun. So if you enjoy it, let us know. So for Jenna and Jonah, I'm Kory. Thanks for watching Beyond the Score.